My son looked me straight in the eye and said, "Go to hell. My wife's family will live here from now on." And just like that, he kicked me out of the home I built with my own hands. Pause. Lehman Town. But here's the thing, what Daniel didn't know was that by the next morning, everything would change. Before I take you through this story, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. If you've already done that, thank you so much. And let me know in the comments which state or country you're watching from. All right, let's continue. I was rinsing the last plate in the sink when Daniel walked in. His arms were crossed, his eyes too cold for my own son. "Mom, we need to talk," he said. His voice was flat, like he wasn't speaking to his mother, but like he was about to fire an employee. I wiped my hands on the towel, trying to guess what this was about. Maybe he found a job. Maybe he wanted to thank me for covering their bills these past months. "Sure," I said softly, but then, without looking at me, he said the words that cracked my world in half. "Emma's parents are moving in. You need to move out." At first I thought I misheard. Move out? My voice cracked when I asked what he meant. "This is my house," but he just shrugged like it was nothing. "Not anymore. We've decided. It makes more sense for them to be here. You'll figure something out." I stared at him, waiting for him to laugh, to say it was a joke. But he didn't. He looked me dead in the eye and smirked. "I'm dead serious. Go stay with a friend." Or, he paused, his eyes like steel. "Go to hell." "I don't care." My chest tightened so hard I thought I'd collapse. "Why?" That was all I could manage, and he said it so easily. "Because this is our family now. Emma's family. We're building a future here. You're old. You'll be fine." That's when Emma walked in, phone in hand, sipping wine, smirking like she'd just won some prize. "Is she still here?" she asked, not even bothering to hide her contempt. Daniel didn't answer her. He just turned to me and said, "Start packing tonight." For a moment, my mind went blank. Years of double shifts. Years of stretching pennies to keep food on the table. Years of giving him everything. And now I was disposable. Emma leaned against the doorframe, scrolling on her phone like my pain was entertainment. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be," she said. I swallowed hard. My throat burned, but no tears came. Not in front of them. Never in front of them. "Fine," I said quietly. Daniel looked surprised, like he expected a fight. But instead, I just smiled. A small, cold, controlled smile. "I'll leave," and a laugh softly. "Good decision." I walked past them, each step heavier than the last. When I reached the stairs, I heard Daniel say, "Make sure she's out by tomorrow." Tomorrow. After everything I had given him, I was being tossed out like trash. I gripped the railing tighter. My heart was in pieces, but I held my head high. They thought they'd won. They thought I was powerless, but what they didn't know was that I'd been planning for this moment all along. In my room. I shut the door quietly and leaned against it. The walls felt like they were closing in. Every inch of that house held a memory. My husband's laughter, Daniel's first steps, late nights sewing curtains to save money. And now I was being erased from it all. I pulled out the old suitcase from the closet, the zipper stiff with age. My hands shook as I packed. A shirt, a sweater. The wedding photo I almost dropped because my fingers wouldn't stop trembling. Downstairs, I could hear them laughing. Their voices floated up the stairs like poison. Emma's words cut through the air. "Yes, Mom, it's all ours now. Finally, ours." That word stabbed me in the chest. I clenched my jaw so hard it hurt. I stuffed more clothes into the suitcase without folding, refusing to let the tears fall. When I finally dragged the suitcase downstairs, Emma was waiting. Arms crossed, smirking. "Waiting so soon?" she asked, sipping her wine like it was a celebration. I stared at her, then at Daniel. My son wouldn't even look at me. My throat ached with all the things I wanted to scream, but instead I smiled again. Yes, I said calmly. I'm leaving. She tilted her head, mocking. Good, we'll send your things if we find any more. My heart splintered, but I didn't let it show. I walked past her, opened the front door, and stepped into the night. The cold air slapped me across the face like reality itself. I almost turned back, almost begged. But then I remembered Daniel's voice, go to hell. I don't care. I walked to my car, put the suitcase in the back, and sat behind the wheel. My hands gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. I didn't drive. Not yet. I just stared at the house dot, and then my phone buzzed. The name on the screen made my heart slow. Lisa dot, not just a friend. My lawyer.uc. Months earlier, I had a feeling. Anna asked too many questions about my finances. Daniel started talking about the house like he built it himself. I couldn't shake the thought. What if they tried to take everything? So I called Lisa. She drew up papers, quietly, legally, on record. And here's the kicker, this house wasn't even mine anymore. It belonged to Lisa. I had signed it over months ago, which meant Daniel and Emma weren't kicking me out of my house. They were squatting in hers. When Lisa's calm voice came through the phone, I whispered, he did it. He told me to leave. Said Emma's family is moving in. Lisa chuckled. Well, that's going to be a problem for them? My heart thudded. You mean they'll have to vacate? 72 hours, she said. No extensions. For the first time that night, I felt steady. Not broken. Not small. They think they won, I said quietly. But tomorrow they'll learn what it means to cross a woman who's already been through hell. The next morning, I sat in a cafe near Lisa's office, hands wrapped around a coffee I had no intention of drinking at 9:02 a.m. Lisa texted me. It's done. I could picture it in my head perfectly. The knock on the door, sharp, deliberate. The kind you don't ignore. Emma would open it, fake smile plastered on her face. Yes, can I help you? The lawyer's voice calm. Are you Mrs. Harris? You're being served. This property is legally owned by Lisa Carter. You and your family have 72 hours to vacate. Emma's laugh would be sharp, brittle. There's been a mistake, but there wasn't. No mistake at all. I smiled into my untouched coffee, imagining the panic rising in that house as the realization sank in. And then my phone buzzed again. Daniel. For a long time, I just stared at his name. Part of me wanted to answer. Part of me wanted to hear him say he was sorry. But deep down, I knew better. If I picked up, it wouldn't be an apology. It would be blame, entitlement, rage, still. After the 6th call, I answered. Mom, he snapped, no warmth in his voice. What the hell did you do? I stayed calm. What do you mean? He shouted so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. A liar showed up saying this house isn't ours, that it belongs to some Lisa person. Is this a joke? It's not a joke, I said softly. Silence, then heavy breathing. You did this? You went behind my back and took my house away from me? Your house? The words hit me like a slap. This house was mine long before Emma even knew your name, I said. He scoffed. Ours, then. Emma and I planned a future here. And you ruined it. Do you even care what you've done to us? Pause, narrator voice hardens, and that's when something inside me snapped. What I've done to you? Daniel, you told me to go to hell. You told me to leave my own home. You made your choice. And now you're living with the consequences. There was silence on the line. For a second, I thought I heard him catch his breath. But then his voice came back, cold and sharp. Fine. You want a war? You've got one. The line went dead. I sat there, phone still in my hand, my chest hollow. My son wasn't just lost. He was gone. That night, Linda walked into the guest room holding her phone, her face pale. "You need to see this." It was a Facebook post. Emma's smiling face. The caption read, "My cruel mother-in-law kicked us out with a baby on the way. We have nowhere to go. How can someone be so heartless?" Hundreds of comments. Strangers calling me evil. A woman wrote, "How can a mother do this to her own son?" Shame on her. My stomach turned. My hands shook. She had made me the villain. I almost doubted myself, almost believed the lies, until I read one line buried in her post. "We were planning to fix the house and maybe even sell it to start our new life." My breath froze. Sell it? They weren't just betraying me. They were planning to steal. I called Lisa immediately. They wrote it themselves. They were going to sell my house. Lisa's voice was calm. "That's fraud." And that just made our case 10 times stronger. Something shifted inside me then. My sadness turned to steel. "You wanted a war, Emma?" I whispered. "You're about to get one." 2 weeks later, the headline flashed across my phone. "Local couple under investigation for attempted real estate fraud. Daniel and Emma's names." Printed for the world to see. A voicemail came in minutes later. His voice hoarse, desperate. "Mom, please. They're talking about jail. Emma's crying. We don't know what to do. Please call me back." I pressed my hand to my chest, my throat tight. Memories of him as a boy rushed in, but I didn't cry. "Not anymore." Lisa reassured me. "If they cooperate, it'll be fines and probation. If not, court. Either way, you're safe." And then the message came. A short text. "I'm sorry, Mom. I messed up everything. 6 little words." Too late. I typed slowly, each word cutting me open. "I'll always love you, but I can't save you from yourself." And I pressed send. 6 months later, I woke up in my small apartment by the ocean. The sound of waves filled the air. The mornings were simple now. Coffee, fresh bread, peace. No shouting. No contempt. No betrayal walking through the halls. For the first time in years, I felt like I belonged somewhere. I opened the window, let the ocean breeze kiss my face, and whispered to myself, I survived, because that's the truth. I may have lost a house. I may have lost a son, but I found something stronger. Myself. Pause. Voice softens for outro. If you've ever been through something like this, if you've ever had to walk away from someone you loved because they chose to betray you, just know you can survive too. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Where are you watching from? And more importantly, what would you have done if you were in my shoes?